Hero is going big when it comes to scooters. First up, the Destini 125, later the Xoom 125, and what we are riding today is its most premium and biggest scooter yet, the Xoom 160. Yes, in typical Hero fashion, even the Xoom 160 is quite delayed, but you know what? It's finally here. So let's find out if this is the best maxi scooter for the Indian market or not. 14.6 bhp, 14 Newton meters of torque, liquid cooling. So on paper, the Xoom 160 does look properly fast and thrilling. So is it fast on the road? Not really. The thing is, the acceleration of the scooter is quick, but it is not thrilling, something that you would expect from a 160cc sporty scooter. And that can be seen in the figures as well. 0 to 60 kph on the Xoom 160 takes 6.8 seconds, which is 0.5 seconds slower than the Ntorq 150, and that comes down to the weight of the scooter. This is a heavy scooter at 142 kg, so in terms of acceleration, it is not thrilling. Having said that, it has very strong mid-range. So once you cross 40-50 kph, it accelerates very strongly till 80-90 kph. And the highlight of the Xoom 160 is its engine. The refinement of this engine is superb. When you're riding at city speed, it feels very refined. When you take the scooter on the highway, you are doing speeds around 90 to 100 kph. Even at those speeds, the engine feels very, very refined. So the engineering department has done a good job. The other aspect of highway performance is the stability of the scooter. With the 14-inch wheels, the Xoom 160 feels absolutely rock solid when you're doing those speeds. So if you have a lot of highway commute, the Xoom 160 is a good option because it can sustain those speeds very easily, and the refinement of the scooter is also very, very good. And to get more fuel efficiency, the Xoom 160 also comes with an i3S start-stop technology. One of the main reasons for the popularity of the Xoom 160 is its styling. The maxi scooter and sporty scooter design language not only makes a scooter look distinctive, but also makes it look very cool. The Xoom 160 has a very dominating face with a tall windscreen, and positioned below is a sleek looking LED headlight, and the beak is a nice touch. The side panels are finished in silver, and it gives the scooter a nice contrast, while the 14-inch wheels play a crucial role in giving the Xoom 160 a dominating stance. In profile, the maxi scooter styling is clearly evident with large seats and a chunky exhaust muffler, while the H-shaped LED tail light is a nice addition. What really makes the Xoom 160 so visually impactful is its proportions. It has the vibe of a big maxi scooter, and wherever we went during the shoot, it generated a lot of curiosity among fellow riders. So on the design front, Hero designers have nailed it. The switchgear felt solid, but panel quality could have been better as there were some gaps, and there is scope for improvement with regard to quality. Moving on to features, the Xoom 160 comes with a punny LCD instrument console. Yes, a LCD display on such a premium looking scooter is just shocking. Even a color LCD display would have sufficed, as the screen looks cluttered and you have to push the button next to the console to scroll through. The scooter gets Bluetooth connectivity, turn-by-turn navigation, distance to empty, and real-time fuel efficiency. The most impressive bit for me is the keyless ignition, as there is a knob below the handlebar to start the scooter, unlock the fuel filler cap, and a button to unlock the seat. The underseat storage isn't very impressive at 22 liters, as one expects more space from a maxi scooter. There is also a lockable cubby hole at the front and a USB charger. Because there is a spine, footboard space is almost nil, and you can't utilize it for carrying any bags or knickknacks. So let's check out the ergonomics of the new Hero Xoom 160. First up is the seat height of the scooter at 787 mm. It is slightly on the taller side by scooter standards, but for my height, I am 5'10", weigh around 100 kg. I can easily flat foot. For shorter riders, the only concern apart from the seat height would be the width of the scooter, because there is a spine. This is a bit of a wide scooter. Now let's check out the riding posture. You can see the footboard has enough space for you to move around. I have a size 11 shoe still, I can move around, so that's not a problem. Okay, it is not as spacious as a conventional scooter because of the spine, but still it is fine. And the handlebar is nice and wide, feels like a proper big maxi scooter. When you're sitting on the scooter, the field of view is also very nice. As you can see, the riding posture is very upright and very nice. Also, the handlebar is tall, so when you're taking a U-turn, it is not kind of touching my leg, which is the case in most of the scooters, so that's another positive. The other aspect on the Xoom 160 is the riding posture can be changed, because you can either flat foot or you can sit like this, relax your feet a bit, extend it. So yeah, these are the two riding postures on the Xoom 160. I still prefer the normal one because I can hold the spine. So if you want to ride fast, you can hold the spine and it feels more proper in that sense. And talking about the seat space also, as you can see, it is pretty long seat, lot of space for the rider, lot of space for the pillion. So it is a nice, comfortable two-up scooter. The only thing which is not comfortable is the weight of the scooter. As I mentioned before, the Xoom 160 is pretty heavy at 142 kg. So if when you want to move around the scooter in parking lot, although it's not, doesn't feel that heavy, but some effort will be required. The Hero Xoom 160 gets an all new frame because it gets a spine, so it isn't shared with any of the other scooter in its family. And talking about handling, the 14-inch wheels gives you a lot of stability when you're cornering fast. It does turn in very well, sticks to its line very nicely. So in terms of fast cornering, the Xoom 160 does a good job. But when it comes to agility, it is not very agile because you can feel that 142 kg weight. Also, the 14-inch wheels means that it doesn't feel that easy to steer in city traffic. Okay, overall it does feel nice, but compared to the other scooters in its segment like the Ntorq 150 or the Aerox 155, because they are lighter, the Ntorq comes with a smaller wheel, they are more agile compared to the Xoom 160. The other issue for me, and the biggest issue for me with the Xoom 160, is the rear suspension. It gets a twin shock absorber. The suspension setting is on the firm side because when you're going over bad roads, you can feel all the undulations of the road, and that kind of makes the scooter feel very unsettled and nervous. And I think Hero should have improved the suspension on the Xoom 160 because they've been doing a very good job on the Xoom 110, the Xoom 125 and even the Destini. So the ride quality is a bit of a downer. Okay, it isn't as bad as the Aerox 155's rear suspension, but given the fact that this scooter has been designed and developed for the Indian market, the ride quality should have been better because again, comfort is a big aspect when it comes to a maxi scooter, and on that end the Hero kind of suffers a bit. So maybe if Hero engineers can retune the suspension for a more softness, a better dampening, the ride quality can improve. The front suspension is still better compared to the rear, but because the rear kind of tosses you up and unsettles, that also affects the front suspension. So in terms of the overall comfort, the seat space is good, but the suspension and the ride quality needs to be better. Coming now to the brakes do a good job. You get a single channel ABS, the bite from the brakes are good, the feel from the lever is nice. So in terms of braking, the Xoom 160 is on point, which is important because this is a fast scooter. The Xoom 160 is priced close to 1,50,000 rupees, so it isn't affordable by any means, and it is the most expensive scooter from Hero. My issue is that the pricing is very close to that of the Yamaha Aerox 155, a scooter which is assembled in India and not manufactured. The Xoom 160 is manufactured in India and it is a Hero scooter, so I was expecting the pricing to be competitive and aggressive, which isn't the case. Now coming back to the scooter, the forte of the scooter is its styling. It has the right dimension, it looks modern and sporty, and wherever we went during the shoot, it grabbed a lot of attention. So if you want a product that grabs a lot of attention, the Xoom 160 is right up your alley. The second thing which I really liked on the scooter is the refinement of the engine. You can do city speeds, you can do highway speeds. It feels very, very refined. And when you do those highway speeds, the scooter feels very stable and very confident inspiring. But it isn't perfect. The issue is the performance. It doesn't feel very thrilling and quick, something that you expect from a sporty 160 scooter. The other aspect and the biggest issue for me is the rear suspension, which is on the firmer end, and the ride quality isn't very comfortable. We have already experienced that with the Aerox 155. Since the scooter was developed for the Indian market, the suspension should have been tuned better. So is it a perfect maxi scooter for the Indian market? Well, the Xoom 160 comes close but falls short.